Hey everyone, Eivind here, founder of Reclaiming a Throne. And I'm out in the woods here in Norway. Spring is coming in the middle of a pandemic, and a lot of people have been asking me to get my message out there more widely lately. I'm running a community on Facebook that's connected to this men's initiation work that we're doing with Reclaiming a Throne. And since it's a closed community, people aren't able to share. And I want to bring my message to you now, in the middle of this very surreal and challenging time that we're in. It's a time when I don't think anyone honestly can say that they know quite what's going on. Like, is it just a normal pandemic that comes from bats in China? Is there some conspiracy theory connected to it? Is 5G part of it? I'm not a conspiratorial person myself, but I'm going to keep my own opinions out of it. What I know right now is that I really don't know, and I don't think you do either. And we also don't know when this is going to end. It will end, and it will probably come back in the form of something else. It looks like we're heading into a very uncertain time, maybe an uncertain decade. And as I've been working for the last 5+ years by now, since the late 2014, I've been working to take hundreds of men from the whole world into the underworld. And I believe that we are in the underworld right now. The underworld, that place of confinement in our apartments, actually. We're in the womb of our homes. And there's a sense of being lost. A lot of people are afraid, don't know how we're going to make it through this. If our businesses are going to crumble, if our employer is going to fire us, if food is going to run out, all of these things. Infrastructure, is it going to last? Many questions, few answers. Such are times in the underworld when chaos overwhelms order and we're free-falling through the unknown. I observed in my own life that when this happened to me, and it's happened several times, but the most distinct time was through chronic illness. And it was 5 years of being stripped bare, of being shredded, my identity being shredded to bits, and the person that I knew myself as kind of disappeared in the process. And it was terrifying. And out of that grew my work with men and Reclaiming a Throne. So I found something amazing down in the dark, something glimmered in the dark. And this is what I see as a potential for us all right now, as literally billions of us are in underworld journeys, in the unknown, being lost with no exit strategy. The black swan came and threw us into this unprecedented time, at least in my lifetime, and probably also yours. And having made a living and a purpose and a business out of this exact landscape of the underworld, I feel like I have something to share. And that's why over the coming weeks and months, I am going to invest a lot more time in this YouTube channel. Because there is an opportunity here that is not often spoken about. I mean, some people speak about it. I got to give them that. But this idea of death and rebirth, the hope of initiation, species-wide initiation, from being faced with that we don't know. Like, it's an exciting time to be alive, and it's a terrifying time to be alive. It's a time of great potential, but also great danger, because we don't know if we're going to end up with a new era of personal sovereignty, Are we going to just plummet into a decade or two of authoritarian abuse and loss of civil liberties? My preference, and I believe also yours, is that it's the former scenario that is going to come out of this for us all, that we're going to have greater personal sovereignty, that you will have greater personal sovereignty because you took the invitation of this moment. And how do you do that? That's what I want to speak about in these upcoming videos, but I will leave you with something right now. Is that the underworld is a tomb and a womb. It's a tomb, a grave for your failing identity and belief systems and strategies. All of the ways in which you are not up to the task of facing the complexity of this moment. Your identity may have become too small. The problems may have become too large. The cognitive complexity of even navigating your life may have become overwhelming. And so you're kneeling at the feet of life, forced into surrender, forced into realizing that you are not in charge. And as that happens, you get to go through the death of the old. The tomb aspect of the underworld is the burning away of the old. And you might remember Gandalf falling from the bridge of Khazad-dûm into the abyss, only to die and be reborn. So yes, there is a rebirth that's potential here, a possibility. That's the womb aspect. And literally, we are in wombs right now as we are sheltered inside of our own homes. Sometimes perhaps even feeling like the world outside of our walls is a scary one, which is quite similar to what it was once like when we were babies in mother's womb. We wouldn't have done very well out in that world at that point. And so we draw back home into the homes and into a possible regression into bad habits, addictions, fears of the past, present, and future. And the tomb part takes care of that. The womb part is really having the opportunity for new life to emerge from that dark place in the abyss, just like Gandalf rising as Gandalf the White, so that Aragorn could reclaim the throne as a returned king. This is a beautiful mythological narrative that is highly relevant in this time. So, in order to facilitate this process for yourself, make sure to avoid one pitfall, which is to hunker down on old beliefs, old strategies, old ways of being in order to feel safe. Maybe you were a conspiratorial person, so now you're just coming up with every conspiracy theory under the heavens. Maybe you were a control freak and now you're trying to control everything and you can't. Maybe you were a victim and that doesn't really work because you're just plummeting into depression and panic. Whatever it was, it's not working. It's not working. So don't accept the invitation into that old identity. Put aside the addictive tendencies to pursue narratives that make you feel weak and disempowered. These are the things that I want to speak more about in the future videos. But this truly is an invitation into personal sovereignty. And yes, there are forces at play in the world right now that may be directly at odds with your personal sovereignty, which makes it all the more important that you claim it, and that I claim it, and that we claim it. Here in Reclaim You on a Throne, I'm currently taking, together with my team, 17 men through the underworld so that they can become truly sovereign in their lives. And I'm seeing a lot of men rising in their power right now in very inspiring ways. I'm seeing that with women too, though there does seem to be a bit of a gendered response, at least in my circles, where a lot of men seem to be moving into a warrior capacity in a greater way, and women might be going into the more intimate place, the more waiting place, the more still place, more lover-like. So yeah, it's an exciting time, as I said, to be alive. It's a worrying time to be alive. So much can happen, and let's make sure that we make the best possible future timeline happen and win. And yeah, I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to follow up with these videos in the coming months, and I hope you will join me. This has been Eivind, founder of Reclaiming a Throne, in service to your sovereignty, my own as well. And I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. See you next time.